Took me a second to find the button then. Good evening, good afternoon, Jamie. You okay?
All good. Christmas is well and truly upon us, isn't it?
It is. Have you done your Christmas shopping?
Yeah,
Ish.
There's one more thing to get, I reckon, and then I can categorically say it's all done.
I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good.
Decent.
Yeah, it's similar, to be fair. It's like one more maybe, and then yeah, I'd say we're pretty organised people in the grand scheme of things.
Big shout that.
Right, next week's training starting the 20th of December, like you say, Christmas week. And we kick things off with a big front squat single. So we've been alternating this every week throughout this cycle, going off the floor, going off the rack, but obviously now is the time to reap the rewards. You've gave a good outline of how to build up to this heavy single. Do you want to dive into that?
Yeah, so when you check into the notes, you'll see this is something that you should be putting on your whiteboards, or if you've got a digital board, make sure it's visible, help the members. You've seen this in enough time to maybe get it out to the members in advance, so they may come with a bit of a plan of attack. So we've just nice, easy build. It's something that you would do naturally if you're doing your own training. It'd probably be prescribed in apps, whatever program you're following. But we've got like 5 at 50 to 60% after a good solid warm up, get those lunges in. And then it's just about cultivating good position and getting ourselves primed up. Again, they're very dependent on the individual. So some people like to do lots of sets and reps to kind of get themselves really sweaty, and then they thrive off that. I know some people that like to do a few at the lighter weight, and then they take nice big jumps because they don't want to be feeling that weight on the shoulders. But if you go into some specifics, we've got some higher reps at the lighter loadings just to drill good position, because again, we're all kind of beginner squatters, so making sure we're moving well. And then as the intensity increases, we've got those reps to drop down. You start to take a little bit longer within that 15-minute window. And then you take your last kind of warm-up attempt in and around 90 to 95%, depending on how you feel. And then you'll notice that there's no 100%. There's no equal in your best ever. It's going for 1 kilo more than you've ever done. And always do that as a minimum requirement, because then you come away, and if you've made a mistake, you still get a PB on that 101%. Whereas if you tried to make too big a jump, you'll end up going too far away. You miss, lack of confidence, get the bar back in the rack. 15 minutes goes quite quick when you've made a miss. And then from there, you can just jump up wherever you feel you need to. So that's how I would kind of go through it. And everyone's a little bit different. So kind of be talking to those newer members, do more reps more often, the more experience. So we have a guy called Pat who used to come to the gym. I remember him doing a back squat, and he did a single at 170. It looked really difficult, and he went, I'm going to go for 200. The fear that I had was unreal. Couldn't show him it. It was just unbelievable fear. He went straight to 200, got himself in the zone. And then I asked him, why did he got the rep? And then I asked him, why do you take such a big jump? And he says, when I take the bar out, if I'm doing a warm-up set and it feels heavy, psychologically, if I'm going for an even heavier weight, it's already starting to crush me. So he likes to make massive jumps. It seems to work. He won the 2RM front squat of the games. He's a bit of a ninja. Obviously, if you've got members that like to take those bigger jumps, just make them aware of the situation. More realistically, 80% of your class are going to be taking nice equal jumps. I'm never doing 170 to 200 on anything. So yeah,
that sounds similar to what Mikey and Reggie do. They go, right, that's it, empty bar, 100 kilos, 140 kilos, 180 kilos, 200 on the bar. You're like, unbelievable. But like
I
you say,
haven't even taken my jumper off by that point. I'm still warming up.
But then you like you said, you've got the other side of the spectrum as well, where you have some members that take those tiny jumps, and you're like, you've done about 10 sets before you've even got to, 85%. It's, to have that courage and take those slightly bigger jumps, and like you said, maybe try going up in slightly different weights to what you usually do. So rather than going up like, 90, 100, 110, maybe try going up 87.5, 95, 105, just mixing it up, just so that you're giving yourself the best possible chance to hit a new PB. Or
that risk on the front squat is reduced as well. I mean, if we're comparing it to the back squat, if we think for a regular member, when you miss a back squat, you either having someone spotting you, can you rely on them? Do you know how to dump it? Whereas with a front squat, you can take that risk, because if you get down to that bottom position, you come halfway and it's not happening, it's just dumped out the front door like a clean. Everyone realistically should finish with a failure today. It's one of those ones that if you're going for finding a heavy single, it's a pretty tough rep. If you want to leave something in the tank and you have a grindy rep out and you want to call it there, you can. But ultimately, for most of our members, we should be kind of hitting a single that's a 1 rep max around about 10, 12 minutes. And then it's going up or trying to reattempt something you've just missed. Don't be taking that first attempt at 15 minutes. It should be earlier.
Yeah. We've then got a variation of the muscle up biathlon. And we've given the option for people to do either bar or ring muscle ups as well. What are the thoughts there, Jamie, given the option?
So couple of different reasons. Firstly, it's trying to work on a weakness. So if you do have a weaker of the two, it gives you an opportunity to go for it. We've been focused quite heavily on the bar muscle up in recent months. We did obviously put the ring muscle up in that Amanda workout. And from noticing people's feedback, they struggled a little bit more on the ring. So I think we've got in the future, into the new year, a bit of kipping ring work. So that's kind of there in our back pocket. The other reason is logistics. Every gym's different. I know ARC don't have as many spaces for ring muscle ups as they do for bar. So running a fairly timeline-based class, if you go for the one that's going to be accessible, if you've only got 2 sets of rings, it's not going to work for your class, so better to use the bar. So a couple of different reasons there. Little tip of the hat on the ring, because obviously that's where that games workout was done. But if you need to go on the bar, get on the bar.
You've given some a couple of like timelines for the minutes, so to speak. So you've given people an idea of how long it should take to do, each set of muscle ups as well. So that gives people a good idea of how long they should be spending on each part, rather than getting onto the first set of muscle ups and it taking the rest of the time to get that done. So yeah, making sure members stick to that, or in and around that at least. If they've got a couple of reps left and they're at 2.5 minutes, maybe let them finish that set. But like you say, it just gives a good guide as to the amount of reps that people should be hitting.
Definitely, it's there to keep the intensity right where it needs to be. So with these kind of workouts, making sure that we are preserving the stimulus of the workout. If we gave this to a top level competitor, they're pegging the run, and then all of a sudden they're unbroken on their gymnastics, and this is a short, sharp workout. Whereas if you're jogging the run to save it, and then you're doing 1s and 2s on the muscle ups, you might as well get rid of the runs completely and just do an EMOM with muscle ups. So it's kind of there to encourage people to maybe push it and see where they are.
For Tuesday, we've got an EMOM. I'm going to let you introduce this workout and tell me where the inspiration was from.
Well, I'm currently wearing the Red Leaders jersey, so that gives you a nice start point. So there's this guy, I don't know if any of you have heard of him, he's called Matt Fraser. He's obviously launched this program and everyone's dipping their eyes into it. So it's one of those ones that this is a big thing he builds his fitness off, is EMOMs, and this is one of the ones that he's posted so everyone can see it. So 40-minute EMOM, 3 workstation, 1 rest station. So it ends up being 10 rounds, and it looks, if we excuse my French, it's a shit sandwich, isn't it? It's tell them something good. 15 or 12 calories on the row is not too hard. 10 burpee box jumps in the grand scheme of things is not a huge amount of time. You could do 10 of those in 30 seconds quickly, and then there's a rest. But right in the middle of that is 1 round of DT at the DT weight, 12 deadlifts, 9 hand cleans, 6 shoulder to overhead. Everything in isolation looks doable, but when you combine them, that's what makes a good CrossFitter. Time frame wise, it's 10 rounds, so it's a lot of work. Funny story, Ben, who used to be a part of the team, he saw this was posted like a few days ago, and he said, when is this going in the program? And I said, funnily enough, it's already in. So this is a chance to kind of try and be Matt Fraser for the day.
When you look at it, it looks like a cool workout in inverted commas. It does look really good, and it's one of them where you're like, yeah, I want to give that a dabble. And it's just the interference, kind of mixed through. It's like the machine's getting your heart rate up, a little bit of grip in there, with it being the raw. You get into DT, can you move efficiently while your heart rate's up? And then with the burpee box jumps to finish after, that heart rate is going up even higher. So then the rest minute, it's how quick can you recover before you're back into your next round?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, on to Wednesday. We've got a handstand push-up retest. What are you expecting on this retest, Jamie? Like, how have the progressions gone? How's it gone at Blitz? What have you seen, that's happening?
So I think, firstly, people's confidence, one, in getting upside down, two, in finding their ability. It took a few sessions to kind of find the optimal movement for one, and then number of reps for another. But now we've got to the point where we're building confidence. I think with anything, we take too long on it. So if we extended this for another few weeks, I think we spoke about that last week, it's kind of, are we going to get bored? But sometimes we have to be super consistent and do the same thing over and over again until we kind of box it off, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So seeing a huge amount of improvement. A lot of people getting there first. So when we were warming people up last week, or this week as we're filming it, we still go through all the progressions and build people up. And a few people were like, can I attempt a couple before the EMOM and then go back to my scale? And we went, yeah. And a few people got their first one. A few people got like a couple of reps with one ab mat. So the progress is there. In terms of attacking the difference between a 12-minute EMOM and a 5-minute test, two different things. So conversation on, are you that kind of person that wants to go and get a fairly big set? With strict handstand push-ups, as soon as you break, the number drops significantly. So is it worth going for a slightly bigger set to begin with? Say you were been doing your EMOMs at 4, can you go for a set of 8, and then after that back to 3s and 4s, maybe every 45 seconds rather than on the minute? So you're pushing the capacity, but not trying to go twice as fast. Going twice as fast is probably not going to happen today, but maybe 3/4, maybe a quarter will be the best way to kind of get yourself through. You would have done lots of 5-minute tests. How does this one kind of rank for you? I know you're more of a puller than a pusher, but how would you attack it?
So I think my best score for this is in and around 50 reps, maybe. And like you said, I find it better for me if I pace it from the start. So I think I went every 30 seconds. I did a set. So it was like 5 every 30 seconds is a rough guide. I think I got more than 50 to be fair, but yeah, it gives you a rough guide. My maximum broken set of handstand push-ups is 20. So again, it's kind of, can you use what your max set is as a guide? If it's 8 reps, can you go 2 reps every 20 seconds? Or like Jamie said, do a slightly bigger set, but go every 45 seconds. Use the past few weeks and how it's felt. Use previous experience of strict handstand push-ups. Again, the more information you can remember and give yourself to go into this test, the better you and more confident you're going to feel going into it and planning it. So yeah, if you've never done strict handstand push-ups before, or if you've only got them this past cycle, just see what happens. It's better to push things probably a little bit too much at the start, and then see how the drop off is, because at least then you've got a guide going into workouts, things like that, of where your ability is at.
Yeah.
For the workout, 6 seconds on, 6 seconds off, send it. Are you telling people to send that bike and that row, or what you're saying?
So let's give you the backstory on this. If you recognise this, Jack, I'd come up to Wigan last Monday or something like that, and then been driving for maybe four and a bit hours. Hello, how are you? Walk in, Steve. Hello, how are you? Are you working out? Obviously, you never say no. And this is kind of a variation. We did 30 on, 30 off on the bike, and then we did some ski erg and air squats. But it was just perfect. It was easy to get a workout, and that's what we're after. Certainly after, if we look at the context of what we did on the Tuesday, where mentally it's a very, very draining workout. So from experience, I've coached that once before because I did a speciality class and we put it in. And after 20 minutes on that DT workout, people were just physically fine, but mentally lagging. Whereas this one, get your handstand push-ups done, and then it's very easy to go hard. For people that feeling a bit beat up, drop the number of calories down. So you get kind of 30 seconds of your machine, 30 seconds on your squats or your swings. For the people that are like maybe dodged the difficult Tuesday, which again, that's probably a conversation to have, talking about cherry pickers and how you may deal with cherry pickers or how you can help cherry pickers. This is the one that you can kind of just get in and get smashed on.
Yeah, the big focus of the session is that handstand push-up retest, and like you say, you can not switch off, but you know it's pretty low skill, simple work that's in the workout after. So yeah, that workout should also help build some good tension for the snatch the day after. Yeah. Nice little format, every 30 seconds doing 1 rep, dialing in good positions at the same time. It gets pretty heavy for the last 10 sets. Before then, there's an opportunity to build to a heavy single as well. Absolutely key is just making sure you're going through a good snatch warm-up. Our go-to is always the 2 sets of 5, snatch deadlifts, high pulls, etc., etc. And that's the time that you want to be picking out where people are going wrong, not when they're halfway through the second set of 10 snatches at 80 to 90%.
Yeah. I'll just touch on that. So coaching a group, and you have a person who's maybe 2 weeks into their CrossFit journey, and then you've got someone who can snatch over 80 or 100 guys or girls. How do you, it's one of those ones that learning the timing of coaching the specific people at the right time. So if you have a beginner, you need to help them earlier because they have no idea what they're doing, or their mistakes are quite drastic. Whereas that more advanced, I'd put myself in the category that I look pretty good snatching with an empty bar. But then when the load comes on and the percentage comes up, that's where all my mistakes become really obvious. So we can't coach everyone at the same time. So if you're going to split the room and you've got 15 people, 5 of them are complete beginners, 5 of them are intermediate, and 5 are advanced, you have to go through that. You try to help everyone generally, but then the specific cues need to go to beginners early doors. And then you work through the field until, so I have Ben in the class and his mistakes weren't taking place in the empty bar. But when he got above a certain percentage, his power snatch, his footwork changed. And that was my opportunity to go and coach him and talk about his footwork and staying over the bar. So as a group, when you're coaching, make sure you pick out the right people at the right time, because there's no point trying to coach someone who's got 130 kilo snatch when they're with an empty bar, and old Joe over in the corner has got a PVC pipe and it's bent up double. Go and help Joe first before you help the person who's snatching a lot.
Yeah, that's a great point. Good advice that. We have a workout similar format to last week with the Tabata into, I'd like to say that's like half of the open workout there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea of the bike first, again, is just to bring that fatigue in there. That 8-minute AMRAP after should feel like the back end of a 16 to 20-minute workout. So again, we're getting to that time of year where we want to be at a higher intensity, but at the same time, we don't want to be doing loads of volume at the same time. So the volumes kind of training's gradually dropping. So again, it's a good mix of, both them things together there.
Definitely. I mean, from experience, we ran this one of the first times we ran the Tabata before that 1 round workout of the 25 burpee box jumps. And from watching people run through that, If anyone saw my Instagram, you saw a pretty fit guy look very slow on burpee box jump. So we're throwing Ben under the bus today. But yeah, he reported back that it was perfect because he's just returning to training. So he's able to snatch and lift pretty heavy. But then when it comes to the workouts, if he goes too intense on his workouts, possibly make himself sick, he'll break down, as we all know. So he scales the workouts. He's pretty smart. He knows what he's on about. But when he got to that workout, he reported at the end, he was like, that was really, really hard. But then he didn't accumulate too much fatigue. He was able to come in the next day and train. Whereas if that same level of intensity was applied across 2 rounds, the leg muscles and the shoulders might be a lot sorer. We had muscle ups the next day. He was able to do some muscle ups for the first time in a long time. So there is a lot of good method to it, but also getting people to work at the correct intensity. So don't be afraid to scale. It's not the enemy.
Yeah. Just going on to that 8-minute AMRAP part, what are you saying for the toes to bar there? Because if I'm looking at that, like you put in the notes, it's going to be probably maybe 2 to 3 sets for myself. But like say, I think making sure that people can still hit that 16 reps in 3 to 4 sets is key, and adjusting that number if needed to get the right stimulus out of the rest of that workout is also key as well. So again, make sure to adjust that if needed, to people's abilities.
Yeah, in terms of the scaling of any kind of movement, certainly the gymnastics is the most obvious one. In the notes, you'll always see I write toes to bar, then looking at that same movement, but reducing the volume to hit the correct time stimulus. So 3 to 4 sets. The first person may not know how many they're going to do. So we just say 3 sets today, and however many you get, it might be 15, you might go 5, 5, 5, it might be 12, like 4, 4, 4. But once you've done that, then going into a scaled option. So we always talk about that global scaling, find the movement as close as physically possible, and then you get further and further removed until you might not have anything that actually looks like it, but actually it's going to build in the future to get you back to it.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Christmas Eve. It's only going to be one style of workout, 12 days of Christmas. Probably the gym owner's most hated workout because it just absolutely makes the gym look like a shithole.
Yeah. If you walk in and you're potentially interested in joining CrossFit and you're 10 minutes into the 12 days of Christmas, 1, you'll be like, this is dangerous. 2, you'll be like, what on earth is everyone doing? And 3, you'll be like, where's the coach? You can't see them because it is just carnage. This year, I am not coaching it. And I'm lucky and very happy that I'm not, because regardless of how you jazz this up, it is difficult to coach. So guys, if you come away thinking you can't coach, it's not your ability, it's the workouts, unfortunately. But it's a good workout once you get into it.
Have you any little tips that might make the process a little bit smoother?
Yes. So yeah, I'll give you a bit of an out on this. Keep the brief really brief, because there's 12 movements. They can't remember the second one after you start talking about the first one. It's one of those ones that make sure we've got the ability to write this on a couple of whiteboards, or if you've got digital board, get it around the room. Everyone has the online app as well. So if people want to have their phones nearby, because you're kind of 10 minutes in, you do your chest to bar and you're like, what have I got to do next? And just, if there's only one board, people are walking towards it, they're getting clobbered with a bar. So make it really visible, keep the brief, and then you've got 12 movements. So coach the movements that you feel you need to coach. Ideally, we coach everything all the time, but we've got to be realistic. It's like, okay, I can't coach the burpee today. I can't coach the box jump, but I make people aware of the box jump. Wall ball's possibly one of those ones where it's like, right, guys, you've done enough wall balls, just make sure you're arm's distance away. Toes to bar and chest to bar, you need to link them in. Pistols, again, it's one of those ones that you probably have to have a bit of detail and show the scale on, because otherwise, if you try and list through 12 movements, you're just not getting there. Tough one to get in otherwise.
They just bring back good memories, those sorts of workouts.
Yeah.
Like you say,
great fun. Everyone comes away. You think as a coach, there's no way that the members have enjoyed it because it's carnage. And then you see their faces after, and you're like, I love that. Can we do that every day? And I'm like, no, because the stress level of a coach is through the roof on the on a 12-day Christmas workout.
Great stuff. I'm going to leave it there on that one. Like you say, I think just being efficient in the warm-up as well, like plan it in your mind a little bit. So, for example, there's the deadlifts, clean, power cleans, shoulder to overhead. You can do a short clean and jerk warm-up there. And like you said, with the pistols, that could be immediately after the clean and jerk warm-up. And to be honest, bang for your buck, that covers most of the other movements in there, minus probably a few kip swings and a little bit on the rig, supersetted with a pistol work as an example. So yeah, plan a good warm-up, a good efficient warm-up before you get stuck into it.
Yep.
Christmas Day?
We haven't put anything on. Like, it's one of those ones that you can possibly, it's Christmas Day, get out of the gym. Definitely don't get in the gym. If you're going to do anything, I know certainly around here, a lot of people can do like the Christmas Day park run, like 5K jog, easy runner. But yeah, don't bog yourself down. It's an opportunity to just relax. Like, if you feel like you want to do something, go out for a walk. It's fresh. It's nice. Dust off the cobwebs. And we have programmed something for Boxing Day. With that, it's kind of an at-home blowout. So a lot of people still have like the old residual dumbbell from lockdown. Possibly might still need that. Hope, fingers crossed we don't. But there's a simple kind of 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 20 rounds, including one dumbbell. Get yourself through. This is taken literally from our lockdown programming. It was a good workout that I remember videoing myself, and it was pretty tough towards the end of those 20 rounds.
Looks good. I just want to briefly touch on the week after.
Yep.
When I look at the next week, it looks awesome. We've obviously taken the workouts from each gym that sent them in. I know there's one or two more to go in, which will probably go in on the first week of the new year. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how that kind of pans out. I know between Christmas and New Year, it's always a week where people have plans to see family. So they might not be able to get in, every day, which is just one of those things. But whichever day that you're going to turn up to as a member, you're gonna get a good workout and you're gonna be buzzing after you've done it.
Yeah, it's when I collated, because obviously we use all the different WhatsApp groups, you get all the workouts and they're coming in at different times. And then when I pulled them all out, I realized you guys love burpees and you like suffering. They were the two common themes that we got, and it was either, okay, burpees are too easy, we'll make you do devil's presses, or okay, we'll just do loads of burpees. So it's a tough week, like Jack said, not everyone's coming in every day. So just having people kind of understand that it's a great week of programming, and it's ideal for that time between Christmas and New Year. You'll get really sweaty, get a good workout, nothing too fancy. But yeah. Thank you guys. The workouts look great. I've tried to do my best to give some names, and I've named every one of the workouts. Either you've given the name or it's the name of the gym. So once you've done it, whack it all over social media, get everyone to kind of see your workout and see if other gyms want to try and give your workout a go.
Yeah. Just a disclaimer, you've had to make a few tweaks to some of the workouts here and there, but as minimal as possible. Yeah. Again, just like you said, a lot of gyms appear to love burpees, so it's just one of them where we can't be burpeeing every day between Christmas and New Year. It's a little bit too mean, I think.
I changed a couple, like with a few burpees, and then I think Adam RDHFC, it was either toaster bar or chest. Oh yeah, you guys like toaster bar as well. It was toaster bar, burpees, and a machine. There was we almost had the same workout 3 times. So
however they can inflict the most pain on members possible, it appears.
Totally. Well, I think Berserk win that. We'll do a proper video on this week, but Berserk, the Berserk mile, 4 movements, and just you guys can think of, it's called the Berserk mile, so there's obviously running in it, but pick 3 other movements that get you out of breath and you'll probably get that workout right.
For sure.
That is exactly it. Aim to smash that one.
Great stuff. Ryan, let's wrap this up.
Good to speak.
Yeah. We'll catch you all next week for our last one of 2022. 2021.
2021. Well,
Lose
don't
my
wish your
mind.
life away.
See you all later.
See you later.